I never used to think that a phone could replace my professional camera, but after the last few weeks and using this iPhone 16 Pro, my mind might have changed just a little bit. I'm TJ. I am a full-time professional videographer. I have been full-time for the past 8 years. So I have been pushing back big time on the phone game. I finally upgraded this year, and after the last few weeks of using this, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what the good things are about this and how this might just be able to replace a pro camera. First, I want to start with the things that I love about this phone, and that is it's convenient. It is always in your pocket. You have it on you at all times. You can pull it out whenever you want to and just start shooting. That's one thing that is really underappreciated about how good these camera phones are right now, because you can capture anything at any time, and I don't have to bring my FX3 with me everywhere I go. One thing that actually genuinely shocked me was the color and the dynamic range that's coming out of this phone. When I say I'm shocked, I'm genuinely shocked. The first time I threw it on my computer and I started editing, I was literally blown away by how good this actually looks. If you told me just a few years ago that you'd be able to film 4K up to 120 frames per second on a phone, and it looks good in log, Apple ProRes, I would tell you, you're crazy. But here we are in the year 2025, and we have the iPhone 16 Pro, and I don't know what to say other than this is crazy. Another thing that I love is I've figured out a really nice workflow for this camera. By using an external SSD, you can transfer the files right onto an SSD, just like you would from an SD card from a camera, plug it right into the computer and start editing, or edit straight on your phone from CapCut. And I think that is invaluable. iPhones in the past, without the log, it looks fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with just documenting things with it. However, whenever I film something, I want it to look good. It's like a passion of mine. So having good footage is huge for me. Now with the log, fixes that problem completely. Now I can pick this up anytime and film something and feel confident that I'm going to get something that I will appreciate. Just a few subtle things have now changed this from being just a phone camera that I take with me and take some pictures whenever you want to being a tool that I would actually use in a professional setting. Now, I don't want to get too in depth, but I do want to tell you a few things that will help you really streamline and have an enjoyable experience shooting on an iPhone 16 Pro. One thing you're going to do is you're either going to download the Blackmagic app or the Final Cut camera app. Now, I'm personally using the Final Cut camera app, and that's just because it's a very streamlined process. There's not too much going on. Going into the Final Cut app will allow you to film Apple log in the HEVC codec. If you don't know, that is a much more compressed codec, and it keeps a lot of space on your phone, versus if you do the Apple ProRes, it takes up a lot of space. Sometimes you have to use an external SSD. The more you have to do to make this thing operate the way you want it to, like adding cages and adding SSDs, I think it defeats the purpose of what I want this to be for me in my workflow, which is convenient, quick, always in my pocket, not a headache, and I can just go whenever I want to. The other thing is setting up this action button right here to open up the Final Cut camera app gets you into it quick. You don't have to look through your apps and do all that stuff. And then obviously this part right here, the camera button, gets you into your regular camera really quick. So if you're out with your family, you want to take a quick picture, push that button down, ready to take some pictures. When I get back to the Final Cut app, you hit this, you're back into video that quick. Also, when you're ready to get your files off, if you don't have AirDrop like me and you want to put it onto an SSD, all you have to do is plug it in, go to your photos, select the photos that you want to export, scroll down, export unmodified original, and save it right on that drive, and you are good to go. Plug it right into your computer and you're editing in no time. One more thing I'd like to mention about this is there is not a single lens on the entire market that can get you from a 13 millimeter wide to a 24 millimeter to a 120 millimeter all in one lens. It's such a wide range that it's so useful. I just can't stress how convenient it is versus having to change lenses and do all that type of stuff. Phones have always been the most convenient camera. However, now the quality actually matches that convenience, and it is a tool to be reckoned with. Now, who would I recommend this camera to? Anybody who really wants to take filmmaking seriously and you have like an upgrade available on your phone plan. Definitely, I would recommend getting this. Anybody who is into vlogging, you can absolutely vlog with this. You can absolutely take some great pictures with this. You can create some short films with this if you really wanted to. If you do the right lighting and use the right apps on here, you can do a ton of really cool things with this camera now. The only thing I will say is that if you are someone who really wants to get into creating short films, narrative style stuff, you really want to learn how to use a camera the proper way, while you can do that on this, I'd still recommend getting something like the Sony ZV-E10 II or something in that realm, you know, around $1,000, just because you're really going to learn camera settings a little bit better with an actual camera. However, if you only have $1,000 and you can get like a payment plan for the iPhone 16 Pro, I might take some of that money and go buy a set of lights, some microphones that you can hook up to the iPhone, some other stuff like a tripod, just stuff that you're going to need for filmmaking. You really just have to think about what your needs are and what you're looking to do. But I can't recommend this iPhone 16 Pro enough, and it's going to be used a lot in my professional work for a while. All right, well, that's it. If you guys have the iPhone 16 Pro or the 15 Pro, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear what kind of things you're making with the phone. If I missed anything on here, I'd love to talk about it in the comments. If you want to see any type of videos moving forward with the iPhone 16, like this versus anything, I'd love to do that as well. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.